Ranking the best safeties in college football 25. And we are back here with another positional tier list update. Today, we got safety. Before we get into today's video, I do want to talk about our sponsor real quick, MMOEXP.com. If you guys want an alternative to buying packs, consider buying coins at MMOEXP and make sure to use code DILL at checkout for 5% off your order. Now, right before we do go ahead and get into the new cards, want to take a look at the old tier list real quick. And honestly, there's just one thing that I really want to change, and that is the fact that Minka, I no longer think he is an S tier safety in the game, and I don't want to drop everyone down. I still think Minka is better than Derwin and Corey Thomas. He's kind of in like an A+ type of range. Now, Caleb Downs, I am still keeping him as an S tier safety because he's one of the few safeties in the game that has that balance between 85 man and 85 zone coverage. So still a big time fan of this Caleb Downs card. And like I said, I do think Minka is better than Derwin and Corey Thomas. He's just kind of in a weird spot in the game. And yeah, I don't really think I need to move anyone else down. I think the list is in a good spot. Now we can get into the new cards. And now the first one we have right here is Javon McIntyre that has 80 speed, 80 acceleration. He's 6'1". Also doesn't hit 80 for man or zone. We're going to keep this one short and relatively sweet. Just doesn't really hit the things that I'm looking for a safety to hit. He's pretty similar to Greg Rubin at this point. Sure can get the ball hawk ability. He's going to go ahead and start off our F tier today. And after that, we also get 80 overall Peter Manuma right here. This is a card that is 6 foot. He has 80 speed, 80 acceleration. Again, doesn't hit 80 for man or zone coverage. So like Javon McIntyre, going to keep this one short and sweet. We are also going to place him in the F tier. After that, we get 81 overall Tamarian McDonald. I probably said that so wrong, but this is a card that is 6'2", so has decent height, but again, 80 speed, 79 acceleration. And my biggest issue with the card is the lower man and zone. He just doesn't hit 80 for man or zone. It's tough for me to justify running this card, even again, if you can get the ball hawk. I just think this card is kind of by like Greg Rubin, and then I'm also going to place him in the F tier. We also get, in case you missed it, Desmond Igbenino's son. I, again, probably said that so wrong. I need some pronunciation police in the comments to make sure I say these names right. But this is a card that is 6'3". It's the speed this time. Like at an 81 being 79 speed, it seems like for the most part, these cards, their ratings are capped at their overall, meaning like, okay, max he could be is 81 speed, which if he was 81 speed, 80 for zone coverage, we're looking at not the worst card in the world because he does have that height, but they didn't give him the speed. They also didn't give him the zone. They made him more of a man player, which again, if your strength is man coverage, you want to be fast, right? This is a card that again is going to be in the F tier for me. Then after Desmond, though, we get CJ Taylor. CJ Taylor, free safety, in case you missed a card. He is 6'1" with 82 speed, 82 acceleration. This time also has 82 zone coverage, so he is a really good 82 overall. I don't think this card is really bad at all. For me, CJ Taylor, where he ranks throughout the game, I could see him maybe in the C tier. I do think Bo Frailer and Zion Childress are slightly better. I'm going to put him on the same level as Rod Moore, though. Not a bad budget option at all, though. Again, can get abilities like the ball hawk. I think he could outperform what his price is going for. And after that, we get 83 overall Austin Brawley right here. And this is a card that is 6 foot. He has 83 speed, 83 acceleration, this time 84 play rec. So again, one of the rare times where we have a stat that's above his overall, but also has a really nice balance of 82 man and 83 zone coverage. I think this card is overall very solid. He's not like the best safety in the world by any means, but I don't mind how they did his stats at all. I am placing Austin Brawley in the C tier. I like Bo Frailer and Zion Childress. I think again, he's one of the best budget options you could have at the safety spot. Now we're also getting 83 overall Cameron Howard right here, and he is 5'11", so a little bit shorter. This time 83 speed, 83 acceleration, 84 agility, 82 change of direction. So all the way across the board, again, not the worst physical stats in the world. Pretty similar to the card we just covered, Austin Brawley. But however, where he loses me is the 71 man coverage, 77 zone coverage. So while his physical stats are there, I honestly think this card just isn't good because he's just really lacking right here. Now, where Cameron Howard ranks throughout the game for me, this is kind of a tough one because honestly, Cameron Howard, I can see the justification for him being F, and I don't hate that at all. Like, would I rather use CJ Taylor with one less speed, but hits that 80 tier zone coverage, or would I rather use Cameron Howard? You know, him by Donovan McMillan also makes sense. I will slightly put him D tier because of the 83 speed, but again, I would recommend CJ Taylor and Rod Moore over this card 100%. 100%. And then after that, we get 86 overall Kevin Winston Jr. So Kevin Winston Jr., he is 6'2", pretty decent height, 85 speed on him with 83 acceleration, 82 agility. I'm not a big fan of the 78 change of direction though. Like that kind of sucks right there. Honestly, his physical stats besides speed aren't really too great. And he does have 85 play rec though. That's nice. Good balance between man and zone. Also pretty decent block shed as well. So there's a card that could play in the box if you did want him to. And I think Kevin Winston Jr., I don't think he's an S tier player by any means. But for me, Kevin Winston, he kind of reminds me of a safety we went over last update, and that is Derwin James. Like not a 1-to-1 of course, but I think Kevin Winston is deserving of this A tier level. And again, I like Minka more than him. Along the lines like Derwin and Corey Thomas, I don't hate that. I think he's better than everyone in B, including King Mac, just because of the coverage stats. So yeah, I'm gonna lean Kevin Winston in the A tier. Now, one of the requests I got from the comments was to go over every single legend set piece. So that's what we're gonna do today. And it's gonna be all about Gerard Holyman right here, or Hollyman. I still don't know if it's Holyman or Hollyman, but Gerard right here, we're gonna get started with 80 overall Gerard. So this is a card that is just 79 speed, and that's really it at the end of the day. 79 speed, 79 acceleration, just not really good from a physical stat standpoint. Not the best. I mean, honestly, for an 80 overall, the coverage isn't terrible, especially if you can get a strat card, boost the zone coverage up to 80. But the main weakness of the card is this right here, like the speed, acceleration, all that. You just don't want a 79 speed safety. So the 80 overall for me is going to be in the F tier. After that, let's talk about the 81. And this is a card that is 80 speed, 80 acceleration, does hit that 80 tier zone coverage. Again, the height and the weight not going to change, but also not the worst like in the box stats. But for me, this is a card that is a little bit better than his 80 overall, but he's more along lines of like McDonald and like Greg Rubin and them. He's still going to be an F tier caliber player for me. After that, let's go over the 82. And this is a card with 81 speed, 81 acceleration. This time hits that 81 tier of zone coverage. He's also 6 foot. And this is a card that again can start to get the abilities like the ball hawks of the world. So this one is a tough one for me because of the fact that 81 speed, 80 tier zone coverage. Is he good enough for the D tier? I'd probably lean the 82 more along the lines of F, but this is the start of like, okay, I could see the reason why you may like this card in. Not the worst budget option in the world. Maybe could see him D tier, but again, I'd rather run CJ Taylor, rather run Rod Moore over him. And then now let's go up to the 83, and this 83 has 82 speed, 82 acceleration. This time again, 82 zone coverage, and not the worst in the box stats in the world. I think this is actually, again, a really good budget option. I would even be willing to say that this card is probably better than like CJ Taylor in them because he can play in the box. The 83 for me is going to make this D tier. I think he's relatively solid. And finally, the last card we got right here is the 87, which we take a big jump up right here. Now, this card is 87 speed, 86 acceleration, 85 agility, 87 change of direction, has 86 man coverage, 88 zone coverage. So again, I think it's him and Caleb Downs, the only two safeties in the game to 85 for both of those. And even though Caleb Downs, again, he's 86 speed, I like him and Hollyman together as a top safety duo, especially if you want to run a little bit more man coverage. And this card, again, can play in the box if you do want him to. Gerard, for me, the 87, I think he is an easy addition to this S tier. I would say he is the best safety in the game. Then after that, we get, in case you missed it, haha Clinton Dix. Now this card is 6'1", 87 speed, 86 acceleration, 85 agility, 86 change of direction. Now this card does have 87 zone coverage as well, so hits that 85 tier of zone, 80 man coverage, somewhat decent in the box stats, could do it if you want him to. So yeah, I think haha Clinton Dix is another great safety in the game. For me, haha Clinton Dix is also going to be in this S tier. Haha Clinton Dix versus Caleb Downs again. I love that Caleb Downs hits that 85 tier for man. You can debate if you want to. And after that, we're also going to have strong safety Brian Branch, and this time he is 6 foot, 87 speed once again, 86 acceleration, 85 agility, 87 change of direction. This time again hits that 85 tier zone coverage, and with a coach strategy item, you could get him up to 85 man. So if you want something to be a little bit more balanced, if he hits stock 85 man, I would keep him S tier and move Caleb Downs down a singular tier. But if you have the right coach strat card, he's S, and then Caleb Downs comes down to right here. But I'm going to keep Caleb Downs S because of the just stock balance. And then finally right here, we do get 88 overall Xavier Watts. This card is 6 foot, 87 speed, 88 acceleration with 86 agility, 87 change of direction. And this time hits that 88 tier zone coverage, 81 man coverage. I think this card is fantastic. I also think literally almost every safety we went over that was the 87 plus. All of them are great users as well. And Watts with the acceleration. This card is great, man. I think Watts, I would say Watts is definitely deserving of this S tier once again. So yeah, boys, this is what the safety position is looking like for me in College Football 25 Ultimate Team. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Again, you might see there's 3 free safeties right here. You might be like, why is there 3 free safeties? Well, Caleb Downs with the 85 man, 85 zone. I just feel like that's so valuable. Like Clinton Dix and Watts, they don't hit that. So that's why Downs is still here for me. I think it's scheme at the end of the day. If you run a little bit more man, I trust Caleb Downs a little bit more than these guys right here. If you're running zone, these guys are probably objectively better. So yeah, that's my thoughts though. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more College Football Ultimate Team content just like this. Now, if you guys do want to go ahead and see me use some of these cards live, been streaming here on both YouTube and Twitch. To watch on the YouTube, make sure to hit that noti bell as well. You'll be notified every time I upload or go live here. Or if you want to watch on the Twitch, check the links in the description, hit that Twitch with a follow. But if you guys do want another video to watch, check out this one right here.